Welcome back to the PR Bunker podcast. Today, Casey Muse shares his journey from drummer to music therapist and how he uses music to help children and families navigate trauma, build emotional regulation, and support cognitive development. Casey talks about the therapeutic power of music, the importance of engaging families in the healing process, and his growing work in trauma education and public speaking as he works toward a forthcoming book on trauma and recovery. And here's your host, Don Martelli.
Welcome back down here with me in the PR Bunker. I am your host, Don Martelli, jacked up, stoked to be talking to my new friend, Casey Muse, who I met on Alignable, which is one of the largest platforms for small business owners in the country to network and meet people. And when I say that this platform is millions of people deep with like ridiculous talent, my next guest is one of those guys. Casey, it's an honor to have you on the PR Bunker podcast. I can't wait to tell your story and get into it, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm solid, dude. I'm solid. I'm excited to be here and just have this conversation with you and get a chance, the opportunity to network differently. And yeah, just
Absolutely.
get down, man.
When you and I first met, immediately I'm a big kind of visual guy, and I caught the keyboard, caught the artwork, and I was like, you must be in music in some way, shape, or form. Then you told me the story, and I was like, oh, snap. This is different. This is different. So, and I said to you before, like, I think all of our journeys are messy. Where we are today is not where we started. So tell my audience your story. Who is Casey? What do you do? And let's get into it.
Yeah, man, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So about 10 years ago, I guess it was 10 years ago, I woke up in a house that I was living in the great city of Nacogdoches, Texas. If you're not familiar with Nacogdoches, Texas, if you know Stephen F. Austin State University, that is the city that that college is in, right?
Right, yeah.
I ended up transitioning there, and during the journey of my career as a licensed chemical dependency counselor, a drug counselor, right? And prior to that, I have been a drummer since the age of 2. The dots will connect, I promise. So during my life, I went to school for music production, sound engineering, music theory, all the things, right? Was a band kid forever and ever and ever, and all the things. Music and drumming specifically was my source of mental clarity, emotional regulation, all of those things that allowed me the problem solving paralysis, know how to that I possibly could, right? Got me through school in ways that I did not understand until I got older, and probably some ways that I still don't understand. It's absolutely truthful, right? Music and drumming specifically have been such a space for me of mental clarity and self-soothing regulation, so much to the point that it was my way through depression and anxiety, as when I lived in an apartment in Dallas, Texas, trying to march my way through the trenches of of the thoughts in my head, right? And march my way through, march, breathe, and paradiddle my way. So if you're a drummer, you know paradiddle is right, left, right, left, right, left. So trying to march, box, breathe, and paradiddle my way through depression and anxiety is on that specific night or day. I don't remember, probably evening, right? And so now all of those things have led me to be a music therapist in the state of Texas, living in the geographical location of East Texas, specifically through cognitive restoration, which means I do all of my therapy through drumming. I now provide that therapy through ECE correspondence, which means daycare, preschool, early childhood education, Alzheimer's awareness and Alzheimer's associations, all of Alzheimer's and dementia care, right? As well as general neurodivergent, special needs population, cognitive healing population, through all those things, right? Yeah. Also serve through that as a trauma education interventionist nationally, right? So I travel nationally and do trauma education as well. Yeah.
Wow, incredible. It's incredible. So it's like music is your life and helping other people live their lives in a much better way through the healing of just sound and percussions and drumming. And I think it's incredible. I love the story.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges in the work? I mean, because clearly you're dealing with families who are going through just an emotional state, and you, whether a young kid or an adult, I mean, there's some challenge you're dealing with. And talk to me about
Yeah.
that journey from the time you meet a
Yeah.
family to when you see things like click. What's that journey like for you?
The challenge is explaining to the family what the click looked like and what the click was and how the click can continue to happen with them. I
Mm,
often tell people that I don't help my clients. I give my clients the means to be able to continuously help themselves,
love that.
right?
Love that.
And
Absolutely.
so if I have a client and I never see them again, and I know they're doing well, I've done my job. I don't want to see them again. I can see them again for a consultation or something, some follow up, just some general directions, some general instructions, some general alignment, right? But I don't truly want to see you for. So my job, my goal, my vision is to see you one time for 6 months or whatever it may be, or whatever. But then I also do like drumline instruction at the arts magnet school here in Tyler, Texas, and also in general cognitive development things during first school
Mm,
partnerships as well, right? So I have those kids continuously.
got it. What's
Yeah.
when you wake up in the morning, man? What drives you? What drives you to do this?
This is a jokingly thing, and I guess I have became a coffee nut as I've gotten older, but coffee. However, not coffee in the way of drinking excessive amounts of coffee, coffee in the way of creatively trying to think about how I want my coffee today. Like what random do I want to put coconut cream in it? Do I want to put coconut water in it? Do I want to put almond butter in it? What do I want to put in my froth? Do I want to froth it with the frother? Do I want to shake it in the shaker, in the espresso shaker? That's one of the things. Just light, fun, experimental, creative ways to make coffee is that's really fun to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume that creativity is in every inch of your being, regardless of if you're cooking, dancing with your
Yeah.
wife, looking at
Yeah.
wallpaper. I mean, is there anything in your life that's not touching creativity in some way, shape, or form?
No. No. No, man. No, not at all.
Love it. Well, and I mean, going back to your engagement with families. I mean, I'm sure it's just like a song, right? For 3 minutes, 4 minutes. There's a story that
Yeah.
artists take you over, right? And it could be just
Sure.
a drummer, it could be a trumpeter, it could be a singer. There's always a journey that
Mhm.
every a piece of music brings you to a place, right?
Yeah.
And that's for us that aren't dealing with these challenges, right? What's that place for the families you work with? What is that journey like for them from day one to end? I know once you get
Mhm.
through, you want to see them because they're doing it, but like what are the emotions that go into this? What are some of the tactics and things that you teach? I mean, put us in the room with the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. Yeah. So it starts here, right? It starts with consultationing because that's really important to make sure that, for one, is it even the right fit, right? And so there's two-step consultation. The first step consultation is my communication and my conversation with the family, whether it be mother, father, mother and father, mother, father, brothers, sisters, whatever, right? The second step consultation is a family home visit and I'm talking to you, I'm speaking to you in the sake of what's called trap learning or home trap learning, which is the Rhythm Arts Project, which is my specific cognitive special needs neurodivergent service, right? And so what that looks like is a 6 month, I come to your house two times a month, provide the sessions, but then also halfway through it, I am giving you the tools to continue to provide trap learning without me being present because it's ridiculous if I show up for 6 months in your house and play drums with your kid, and you're like, "He just showed up for 6 months and played drums. I don't really know. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what's my kid supposed to do with that, right?" So the goal is to get you to understand what the patterns, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like, all of the things of what it is, and how to lean into your child
Hmm.
to be able to have correspondence deeper, right? How to attune to eye movement, how to look at the nonverbals, how to look at the verbals, all those things, right? And so, yeah, it starts with
Love
that
that.
two-step consultation. And then in that second step consultation, I am understanding what that child's responses are to what specific drums are going to be appropriate for me to use for that child, because not every drum is appropriate, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes when you play low frequency drums, it's not received well.
Sure.
Sometimes when you play too high of frequency drum, it's not received well either. Sometimes a mix of both of them are well. Sometimes I have to create higher frequencies or more mid-range frequencies with a drum that initially is more low tone,
Mm,
but I
mm.
have to modulate it the whole entire time. And so that second step consultation is for getting to know all of those nuances, right? And communicating all of those nuances in the process, right? So, and then we schedule the 6 months, we work it out from there. I am constantly updating you on progress, right? I'm sending you emails saying, hey, we're going to look at this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're not going to do this, right? Yeah.
Wow, it's incredible. It sounds like every family, every individual, it sounds like there's a standard playbook, but every case is just
Yeah.
vastly different, right? I mean,
Yeah.
tuning, I mean, the only tuning I know is about tuning a guitar, right? And like
Yeah.
just a small tweak is like that the reverberations is just 1,000% different. So it sounds like you go in and you're tuning
Yeah.
the guitar so it plays for them in the right way.
Yeah, it's a world of a difference. I mean, I could tell you that there is always a starting playbook, but then sometimes it gets thrown out the window.
Mm, mhm. Just like a jam session, right? All of a sudden we're playing like take 5, right? Do 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 do. And all of a sudden, we're playing on something else. I get it, but I
Yeah,
love the
man.
pivot. Let's talk about passion.
Yeah.
Clearly, you love the space and you're in it for a reason.
Mhm.
How fulfilling is the work for you?
Man, it's so crazy. I don't really know that I focus on that. I think sometimes if I know that children are able to breathe better, learn better, communicate better, that's the purpose,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
And maybe purpose is something that I focus on more than the act of being fulfilling because for me is especially someone who has lived in the world of mental health, right? If you look at fulfilling, the fulfilling gets the connection of it or the attachment of it being self-fulfilling, right?
Got it. Got it.
And nothing for me is ever about self-fulfillment, if that makes sense, right? Because
1,000%.
then I get focused on the journey being about me and it's not ever about.
Mhm, mhm. I love that. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have, can you share like an anecdote or a story without using names and things like that of like that's emblematic of the work that you do and the impact you've had on people's lives?
Yeah, I feel like I tell this story a lot because I feel like it has resonated in a really pivotal moment. But so there's a really cool space called Region 7, which is kind of the epicenter of education for the whole entire geographical location of like East Texas. And so I did a 2-day workshop seminar for the Gifted and Talented program. And on the second day of that program, we got done. We were about to close out. I was guiding them through breath work and paradiddles and some sensory call outs and some things like that, right? Some really cool math and pattern things. And it got to the very end, and this kid goes, damn, that shit felt good. To my knowledge, not many people heard him that I know of, but I mean, for a kid to say that, more people hear that than you know of, right? The teachers that were standing right next to me, right after the kid said that, they turned to me and they said, dude, they're going to be saying paradiddles for the next 2 years. And then I got an email from their administration that this was Dieball, right? I got an email from the administration of Dieball 3 years later, so telling me that they're still saying paradiddles. Super cool about it is I have the education to the kids side, but then I also have the education to the caregiver side, right? So even remembering some of the trainings that I give to some of the caregivers, right? And I will see some of them 3 years later, 4 years later, even like 6 years later. And they'll be like, dude, I remember when you came over to Nacogdoches High and you talked to us about emotional regulation, but also the communication aspect of speaking to young kids and being able to hear them well and give them a space of understanding versus what it looks like to not do that. And things have shifted since you've given us that conversation.
You did mention you travel and do some speaking. What's that look like? What's your circuit look like this year? What do you when you're doing speaking opportunities, what does that look like? What do you speak about?
Yeah, trauma, trauma. That's my jam. So, man, it's that is super cool because for some reason, I about 4 years ago got invited to present in my very first conference for women talking about trauma. And that's all I do. nationally is I it's super dope, super weird at times because I have that thought of, damn, I'm speaking to like 2,000 women about trauma. And when I walk into the room, half of them are triggered by my physical presence. But then I get to walk them through what that looks like, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, trauma, man. And so much that I have a book so I'm gonna release it in a ebook first, and it will come out probably within the next month or so. And I'm excited about that. It's called Braced No More. And yeah, man, it's super cool. Super cool.
When did you start thinking about writing the book? How long has it been in the making?
I don't know, dude. So in reality, it came really quickly because I think I've been thinking about it probably for the yeah, well, I think I've kind of been thinking about it for the past like maybe 6 years of my life or something. And then I think when I sat down to write it and do some like audio fetch into the computer system so that I could get some ideas down for some fluency, right? I think it all came together really like in about 2 months or so.
Wow, that's great. Sometimes you just got that little match and it lights the flame and you just run with it, man. You just let it go.
Yeah. Dude, I locked myself in my office for hours on specific days and just went to work and it was fluid, dude. It just happened.
I mean, a lot of people have a lot of great ideas, and sometimes they don't take that next step to the dance floor, which is getting that book published. And I'm actually guilty of that. I probably have started 5 or 6 different entries to a book that I've never really finished, and this is like the second time this week that this topic has come up, which reminds me like I probably get off my ass and maybe like you did lock myself down in the basement and just write some stuff. But it's incredible. Let's do a quick little pivot.
Mhm.
Clearly your comes to music, right? And clearly drumming. I'd love for you to talk about your listening habits. What's kind of on your playlist these days? What's moving you around the household when you get your earbuds in?
Man, recently I think this is pretty consistent. Like these R&B, 70s, 80s R&B, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Frankie Beverly, Maze. Yeah, 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 man. That era is pretty consistent. Also, I have a really consistent band that I listen to for just therapy and life. They're called Sigur Rós. They're Icelandic. Yeah, man, Sigur Rós is it. Yeah. There's another really cool band called Grizzly Bear from Brooklyn, New York that I love.
Love Grizzly Bear. Love that band. They're really, really talented. I love that. Let me ask you this. If you could jam, if you could jam with anybody, who would you jam with?
Okay. I want to write in a studio with Kendrick Lamar, jam, sit behind a kit, and play with ooh, that's a deep question. Uh,
And they could be living or dead. They could be living or dead.
that makes it harder. I feel like I gotta give you 2 on that. I will go okay, Pharrell Williams. What's the, Deftones? Deftones, for sure, yeah. Pharrell
You literally have a list 3,000 miles long, and it makes it tough. I love seeing you squirm.
It's so stupid. It's so hard. It really is. So we got Pharrell Williams, we got Deftones, we have Babyface. He's an honorable mention. Babyface from LaFace Records, Babyface. Shoot, man, this is rough.
Yeah, it's
This is
tough.
rough.
It's tough.
Prince. I'm gonna go Prince.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna go
yeah. I
Prince.
mean, like, man,
I
that
was
would be a
trying
hell of a
not to.
room.
I was actually trying not to because I feel like that's kind of a dead giveaway, but I'm gonna go Prince. Yeah,
Ridiculously talented.
right, right.
I mean, yeah, I go back to even when he did the halftime show, the Super Bowl that year,
Come
just
on, dude.
in the rain. Like,
Come on, dude. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, would it I don't know, I think it would have been less Prince if it wasn't in the rain.
agreed, agreed. It's like
Yeah, I think
those moments that you know that there's something else going on in this universe we live in that's not here with us. Like, there's something happen. Like that's just
yeah,
magic.
yeah. Okay, I gotta do it. Imma go Tupac Shakur.
Oh, ooh, there you go. Like that. Little Tupac, Kendrick, kind of battle. Like
Ooh, that's
it
rough.
would
Yeah,
be.
Imma go yeah.
Love that. I would say I would just before we got on this podcast, I was listening to Tribe Called Quest. So I'd love to
Ooh,
I'd love to like, get a session with Tribe. Um I would definitely want to sit behind the kit and we actually just listen to Led Zeppelin.
yeah,
I'm a big Zeppelin.
yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Another guy, like and
Yeah.
then you have to go to Hendrix, right? You have to go to Hendrix because Jim,
Mhm.
just like I saw a
Yeah.
quote the other day. It's like, when's the last time you saw a
Yeah.
photo of Jimi Hendrix without a guitar? I'm like,
Right.
I
Right.
don't know if I
Because
ever
then
saw
I would
one.
also go BB King somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my claim to fame is my only little 15 minutes of music fame. I do I can play the drums, but my instrument is the trumpet, so I can play the trumpet. And so
Yeah,
back
that's
in my
impressive.
kind of high school days, I was in a band, jazz band, playing at Riles, which is kind of a jazz spot that no longer exists in Cambridge. So as we're playing, um, there was rumors that the mayor's friend, who was Wynton Marsalis, may be there. Okay, and so we're
Mm,
playing take five, do 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 do
mm.
do do, and so right before the chorus, which is do 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 do, I'm like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bars away from getting to that chorus, and out of the corner of my eye is this like buttery looking trumpet, and it's Wynton Marsalis. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Ba-da, ba-da," and he starts playing with us in real time. I literally did this. I sat there with my mouth open. He's like, "You gonna play?" And I'm like, like you're here." Like, and it's amazing, and
Yeah.
just listen, like just to sit there in that moment and hear somebody who's that talented at that moment in his life to be there with me playing was like,
Yeah.
I could die today. It was
Mhm.
fantastic. So like for me, music is all
Mhm.
around me. My old man was a rock star. My mom was a just like R and
Yeah.
B, Four Tops, that stuff. So I would kind of grew up in the '70s and '80s. So I'm like an '80s '90s hip hop kid.
Yeah.
Tribe, Jurassic
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. The Roots. Yeah. Come on. Questlove and just like I feel like The Roots and Questlove, all those simultaneous can be 2 different conversations. Come on.
If I'm you, I'm jamming with Questlove. He's also ridiculously talented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Questlove
man.
is yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we could talk about this all day long. Let's pivot real quick. So, what's next for you, man? Where can what's next? You obviously got the book coming up. You got some speaking
Yeah.
opportunities. What do you the end
Yeah.
of 26? Where do you hope you're going to be
Oh my gosh, dude. Um, yeah,
in
man.
the
So
in
I
the, in the
have
booth with Kendrick and then jamming with Quest?
man. That would be cool. I think those are just side quests that are really cool that would happen. For business and legacy, because I'm going to talk about legacy right now, right? This book is going to be really special because it is a book about trauma, speaking to the population that I talk to the most. And so it's going to add to that and put so many notches in what that looks like, right? Then after that, I have 3 additional cities that I have not done so far to do public speaking at. And I kind of, man, my success in that space is how many people can I touch? How many places can I add? Right? Yeah. How many places can I create a energy of healing and give the most high appropriate education as possible? Right? Yeah. Because I think it's really important for me to give accurate information and not information for information's sake. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you and else that are out here, like me. We just kind of got to carry that white flag through the middle of the war zone, saying, "Hey, like we can bring the goodness. We can pay it forward. We can help people
Come
out."
on.
And it's that one kid at a time, as you mentioned, right? So it's good stuff. So if you are a family that has a family member that has challenges, and you think this resonates with you, where can people find you?
Yeah. Website is wonderful. CaseyMuse.com with a Z, CASEYMUZE. Facebook is great. Facebook is a little bit different. It's Casey Muse, the royal speaker. Yeah.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the success. Congratulations on what to come. And when you do end up jamming with Questlove and Kendrick, just let me know that just reminder that this conversation happened here first. Okay.
I'll
That way,
have to let you
just put
know.
me in a
That's
little line.
absolutely
Just put
it's
me a little line of the
mandatory.
credits. A
Yeah.
little line of the credits. That's all.
It's mandatory because we spoke it. We spoke it. It's prophetic
You
at
got to
this
put it out
point.
there, right? You got to put it out there. Well, Casey, hey,
Yeah. Yeah,
keep
man.
going, brother. You got me and others supporting you. You don't need it. You've got a great story, and you are helping other people find their rhythm and find their story, which I think is a beautiful thing, man. Good work.
I appreciate it, man. Thank
No
you so
problem,
much
man. Well,
for your
thank you for
time and your
joining.
energy,
No, hey,
dude.
anytime. We'll do this again. So after you become famous, you're still doing this, and staying with Questlove, we'll still do
Yeah.
this. But I appreciate you stopping by the PR
Yeah.
Bunker, man. Appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you. Much love for sure.
Thanks for tuning in to the PR Bunker podcast, where we go beyond the headlines and into the trenches with founders, builders, and operators making real moves. This show is brought to you by the PR Bunker, a strategic communications agency helping mission-driven and impact-focused organizations cut through the noise and tell stories that matter. Want to learn more? Head to prbunker.com and subscribe to the Bunker Briefing, our monthly email newsletter packed with a 45-second read that's stacked with value. We're talking practical PR and communications insights, networking tips, and strategies to help you navigate the moments that matter. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. We've got more raw, real conversations on the way. So stay locked in. Until next time, keep building, stay resilient, and remember, momentum favors the bold.